All right. We're ready to roll. You ready? Hello, everybody. This is Brent. That over there is Bryce. For me, it's over there, so I always feel weird pointing this other direction. However, either way, that is Bryce. Wherever he is today, he might put himself somewhere else. I'm pointing here, but he could be a brat and put himself on this side. But
Such a brat.
then he'd have to adjust the template, so I don't know if he would do that. Heaven forbid something gets hard for him. Ooh, call out. Anyway, unnecessary call out, by the way. Unprovoked and unnecessary.
What have I done to you?
Nothing today.
That you know.
We're going to talk about lenses. Lenses a little bit today. I don't have anything new on my side. I don't really even have a wish list. That's not true. I've got one, but I don't really remember at this point the name. But Bryce has some thoughts, and maybe as he is thoughting, I can thought a little bit myself as to what mine is. But anyway, why don't you take it off for a little bit there, buddy, and see. We'll see what your thoughts are on what lenses you want.
Well, first of all, I'm doing fine, thank you.
First. Hey, how are you, buddy?
Yes, lenses. The eye of the cameras, not of the Tiger. That's something completely different. But let's back up. Let's pause. Let's rewind. You, sir, have a couple of lenses. You within the last year or two, you bought a couple lenses. You have what is affectionately called the Nifty 50. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
And Canon, they make at least 3 Nifty 50s. Well, not really. They make 3 50 millimeters. I believe they make 1 Nifty 50. So the Nifty 50, for those that are curious, and I'm going to be very generic with this statement because I don't remember the specifics, but it's a 50 millimeter lens. It's a prime lens, and I have one nearby, but it's actually locked away in a case right now. It's a prime lens, which means it doesn't zoom in or out. 50 millimeters is what it is. And there we go, right there up on the screen, covering his lovely mug. And it also has shallow depth of field, which means your eyes can be in focus, but the tip of your nose and your ears can be out of focus. That also gives you more light, allows more light to come in, and is a good aspect ratio for wide-ish shots, but still maybe able to tweak in or sneak in some portrait photos. On Brent's camera, the Nifty 50 is roughly, if I'm correct, around an 80 to 83 millimeter because of the crop factor, which we're not going to get into now. Look it up if you want. Maybe we'll have a whole nother episode on that. And we've talked about it in the past as well, but my camera is easier. It's a 2x crop factor. So you just double it across the board. And I really love that. So for me, the Nifty 50 would actually be to get the true 50 millimeters, I'd have to get a 25 millimeter lens. Double it, boom, I've got 50. Now, they say what also happens, though, is the f-stop of the lens shifts as well by roughly that same amount. So if I get, as an example, I think the Nifty 50 from Canon is 1.8, f1.8. So on my lens, an f1.8 would actually be a 3.6. Which is not terribly shallow. That's, a matter of fact, roughly what I'm shooting at right now. So this background is slightly out of focus, but not really super blurry. Whereas if it was an actual 1.8 f-stop, I'd be in focus here, but then that would be out of focus, like really, really out of focus. That's one of my things that I want to get, and I'll get into that in a second. So you have the Nifty 50. Without getting to your financial situation, did you get the budget one, the $99 one, or whatever it was? $89, $105, whatever.
That's a fantastic. I don't remember what I paid for this guy.
Did you buy it brand new or used?
Bought it new.
Okay.
I know it wasn't $100, but I'm also not the type that's spending $500 on a lens.
Yeah. So that lens typically goes for.
I'll give you a tip.
A tip?
Pricing wise.
Oh.
Yeah, a tip. In other words, a lead on what pricing may be. I believe they make one that has a metal body, metal casing. This, I believe, is a plastic casing. It does have a little weight to it, but it is not the metal
Yeah.
frame. And, whatever the metal is that it's used, but
Yeah.
this has that plastic around the side. So it is, I'm sure, one of the lesser expensive ones, but still very good.
Yeah. They make.
And they also make one that is, this is the STM, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
There's not enough light on this for me to tell you that. I believe it is. And they make one that is not that. What does that acronym stand for again?
I know what it is, and I can't think of it now. STM.
It is the STM.
Let's look her up.
But they make one that's not.
So
And
maybe
that one is
I wonder if you
even
got
less
that one
expensive.
on sale then. If you spent
I may
$150
have.
on sale, because the Nifty 50 is typically a 50 millimeter. That's $100, and it goes. I've seen it as high as 110, but as low as 180. $99 roughly is the cost. The next model up, which is instead of a 1.8 is a 1.4 f-stop. That one I believe is $300 to $400. And then you have another one that jumps up to $1,200. I don't have that one. The one here at work I have is the $300 or $400
Nor do I.
one, and it works really well. Silent mode. They make you dive right into the website. They can't put it in the first little front portion of the actual thing as to what it means. I believe it has something to do with the autofocus system. What
Something
does-
motor. Something motor. Is that,
What
does
does
that help anybody
STM
watching this?
Scanning tunneling microscope. No, I don't think that's it.
Yeah, I don't believe so.
I don't think that's it. Stepper motor technology. Stepper technology motor. What?
Yeah.
So it
Anyway, I think-
introduced
I think motor's
this
in there.
motor design to be quieter and smoother focusing system that allows for near silent focusing during video recording. So it is the lens that you want if you're in autofocus and you're recording video, because typically you get that as it's focusing in and out. But you also have, am I correct in saying that you have the 24 millimeter or a 14 millimeter, something like that?
I do have the 24. I was actually just looking at that. Let me take this guy back off again.
What are you using right now?
That's the camera up there. See if it probably won't focus on it because there it goes. I'm using the kit lens 18 to whatever it is, 55 maybe.
And why do you use that when you have the 24 and the 50? Just out of curiosity.
The 50 is too close,
Okay.
and the 24 is not far enough. That's not actually true. Where my camera is right now, I could get there, but this guy, you just talked about the noise the motor makes. Even though this is an STM lens, I want to say I got this on sale for around $100, and I think it's normally $125
Okay.
for this one. But it is the STM, and it frequently, because I normally have it on autofocus, and I get the
Oh, do you? Okay.
yeah. And this guy right here, I need to either get it closer, just all the various audio issues that I tend to always have. It picks it up, and it's been on other videos of mine.
Wow.
I have used it before on manual focus, but I didn't. There's been a few where I was
Where you're
on
out of focus.
manual focus and out of focus.
Yeah.
But the problem was, what I did was this little arm that's holding. This is, I think, just a little cheap, newer arm from Amazon, but it's holding this microphone. I put like a piece of paper up here and put it basically where my face is with text on it, and I didn't pay attention to the f-stop, and I just basically focused on the text. So basically, I had a few nose hairs that were sharp, and the rest of me was a little bit out of focus because I didn't do it quite right.
Yeah.
But hey, live and learn. But
Live and
anyway,
learn.
this is a 24 millimeter. I do like it, but I've yet to get to the point where it's solid. That's a glare. There you go.
So that's
80.
80. So if you take a 50 millimeter times 1.6, which is your crop factor, it equals 80 millimeter. That's the lens. So that's 80 to 105 is like a portrait. So that's like the beginning of a portrait lens. And that's why it looks so good on that camera. And then you have a 24 times 1.6. You're looking at a 38 to 40 millimeter. What's the f-stop on that one? Do you remember? On the 24?
2.8.
2.8. So that's not bad. The lenses I'm looking at I'm actually looking at a 24 millimeter lens that is 1.4, because that will give me, with all the crazy math situation, a 48 millimeter lens with 2.8 as the f-stop. Panasonic makes a Pancake 20 mil, which will give me a 40 millimeter. But it's a 1.7, so that, again, you're kicking up. Now it's a 3.4. It doesn't quite have that same shallow depth of field that I would really want. I guess being a wide angle, even at 40, I can't quite do landscape, but I might be able to do architecture. So it has its place, and it is a Pancake, so it means it's really, really small. So that'd be fun maybe to go walking around town with or something, and it's not very expensive. Matter of fact, right now, we're shooting this just, December 21st. There are some phenomenal deals on lenses right now, and I don't have any money, so it doesn't matter. But now it makes me think, goodness gracious, can I wait this long? Can I wait till next Christmas season, the holiday season, when these will probably go back on sale again? Of course, the answer is yes. I might have to. I'd really rather, maybe I'll start saving to get at least one of these. But it rolls me into one of the lenses that I really, really want. There's two of them. It's called Voigtlander is the company. And the other one is, and I always get the pronunciation of this wrong. It's now I just lost it. It just left. It's just I rambled long enough for it to dissipate out of my head. There's the Voigtlander, and it's like the Montong or the Mingjiao or something like that. But they are 25 millimeters. So again, you're getting that 50 mil look. 0.95, which again, you do the math, you're looking at basically 1.9, which is too shallow for me. I don't have good enough visual, my eyes aren't good enough to focus in on something that's 1.9 or 1.8. The lenses that I have here that are really good quality, or I should say big enough, low f-stops, I always have to go to around 2.5 to 2.8 in order to be able to get, a good quality picture with enough in focus to where my eyes can see it. So that's something that I'm looking at, and those are the lesser expensive ones. Panasonic has some that are around $1,000 for the similar settings or specs, and it's just it's too much for me as a.
Now, do you need a lens adapter to be able to fit that lens on the Panasonic?
They're made. Excuse me. The Panasonic is a Micro Four Thirds, and these both have Micro Four Third mounts on them, so they work with the Panasonic as well as Olympus. And actually, Olympus has some nice lenses as well. The problem that I have with most of those, I don't say most, with a lot of those, is that they're silver, and I don't want a silver lens on the front of my camera. It stands out too much. Not that I don't like them; they look fine. It stands out too much when I have a black camera. But those lenses, that's if you really want that shallow depth of field again. So when you see portraits and people look like their eyes look like they're glowing and they're popping, but then there's like this blur around their hair and their ears. That's the shallow depth of field, and that's typically, not always, because a really good photographer can adjust a lot of these settings to make things work. But it really usually means that you have a low f-stop. Or actually, they might even say a high f-stop. I forget because I get dizzy. They say high, but they mean low number, and also these silly things. The ring inside the lens is wide open, but the number is really small, but it lets in the most light. I'm glad none of this is confusing. But like the one I'm shooting at right now, is a 14 to 140. So it's a really big zoom range. But according to my camera, because it's a 2x crop factor, you multiply it by 2. So it's actually a 28 by 280. That's really nice. I took it to New York last time, and man, I was really able to zoom in super close. But as low as it'll go, or high, as fast as it'll go, is a 3.4, I think it is. Can I see it from here? Yeah, 3.5. So I'm as open as I can be. 3.5 f-stop. So this is as shallow as it's going to get for this lens, and I'd like to. So that's my thing. But also for my phone, we went to the Getty Museum, which is in L.A. recently, and we did a tour there. It was really nice. Doing the old selfie situation. The 24 mil or whatever this is, the wide angle, just isn't wide enough for a good group shot. And then the zoom, which is 2x, is just fine. So I'm thinking, we've talked in the past about the Olloclip lens. It's a lens that you snap onto your phone. Fairly good price. I might end up getting one of those. Again, a wide angle on a fisheye. I've always liked the fisheye just for funsies, but the wide angle really is nice because then you take the 24, you make it just a little bit wider, and then at arm's length you can get a good group photo. But that's pretty much it for me. Those are the main things that I'm kind of wanting for my camera. Again, I have the Panasonic Lumix G85, and then I bought separately the 14 to 140, mainly to have that really wide range. It's a single lens that I can just take on vacation, and I can have close-ups, I can have wide-angle shots. But I want that prime. I want that 50 mil. I could buy a 35 and get a 70 out of it, or I can buy a 37, 37 and a half to get the 80 or 85, probably 85 mil, which again is a good portrait. But to get that one with a low f-stop, your prices start to go pretty high. Is there a lens that now that you have the kit plus those other two lenses, do you want the $2,000 70 to 200 Canon lens? It's really nice.
I don't know specifically. Yeah, that gargantuan one. I don't know that I want something that crazy because I don't have anything to carry it around with. And I don't remember the numbers of the one that I do want, or that I thought about anyway. Whether or not I will actually ever get it, I don't know. But it's the 10 to something, and I don't remember what the other one is. And the main reason is the reason why I bought this guy, the 24, was in hopes of, for the times where I'm in the car or whatever, I'm out and about. This thing is significantly smaller and lighter than the regular lens, either the 18 to 55 or the other one that I have, which it's a decent size zoom lens. By the way, here's my nice little lens protector. Argyle, fancy.
Argyle, that's right. Keep it classy.
You got to keep it, exactly. This one is the 55 to 250.
Okay.
Non-white. I don't know what the f-stop is on this guy. 5.6. And obviously I'm not going to be using this big guy. The size of it is, come on, to just carry around. I keep showing it to myself on the computer because I'm a nitwit. I don't want to carry around this thing on a camera. Like when you said, when you go someplace, you kind of like something smaller and lighter. And the 24 and the 50 both are small, but they don't have the range that I would get with like the 18 to 55 up there. So this one here, again, I will never learn. I will always show it to myself because I'm a doofus.
So let's just explain
this one's the 50.
Our little setup here, Brent has a computer off to the side to help him start recording and stop and focus. He has the actual lens itself that is being recorded. And then he has off to the other side is the FaceTime with me and him. So he could look at any location at any time, but the only one that really matters should be the one in the middle. But
yes, there's 3 locations, and I do keep looking over here to make sure that I'm in focus, especially when I put something in front of my face. make sure that gets back in. But anyway, to say what I was saying, this is the 50 millimeter. This is the 24. They're very similar in size. Both of them are nice sizes when it comes to keeping on the camera. The 10 to whatever it is bigger than these, smaller than, actually it's about the size of the 18 to 55, if I believe it. But it's a $300+ lens, and I can't justify going out and buying it. Basically, what it boils down to, because this one does well enough. The main reason why I want it really is to get below that 18 millimeters. So if I'm in the car, I don't have to sit in the back seat with the camera in the front. Is the biggest reason. I can have everything set up like I have in the past. But I can't see it from here, so you have to read it off.
The Canon 10 to 18.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Is that in the $300-some range?
Right now it's on sale for $270.
Hey there.
Amazon has it for $250. Walmart has it for $225. And then a place I've never heard, Ted's Electronic, whoever that character is, has it for $105.
Wow, Ted. I wonder if it's real.
I don't know. I have to look it up.
That's probably some Ted's brand Canon replacement lens. But anyway, that's the one that I was wanting, again, just to get below that 18 millimeters so that I could have it close enough. Because this 24 is it's close, and that 18, I believe I've done it in the car with this lens. Not me in the back seat, me sitting in the front seat. But is not where I need to place everything is not comfortable to mess with. So if I just had something where I could comfortably put the camera, the lens, that would work fine at 10 millimeter. Or whatever, just need under 15, whatever it would need to be. I don't really know, but 18 is just too big, too high of a number, whatever the proper way of saying that would be. But anyway, that's really the only lens. I mean, I would love to have one of those big zoom lenses, but I don't go out like trying to take pictures of birds or anything. I don't do sports. I do sports because I do like sports. I don't photograph sports. And the zoom lens that I have, this, I've already forgot the numbers involved, 55 to 250, does a pretty good job when I've gone to some football matches, soccer games. It's worked out fine. I'm typically the shortcoming because I keep forgetting the settings on the camera because I don't do it enough. That's a whole other show that we need to, at some point, maybe get into, is the get in practice of using things. But having the equipment is nice, and not knowing how to use it is makes it kind of pointless to have a lot of this nice stuff.
A lot of the new cameras, yours possibly as well, I haven't played with the model you have, when you're in auto mode, it actually does a pretty doggone good job. The whole point of being able to have a specific lens for a specific thing, but then also knowing how to use the camera in that environment is pretty important. And in your case, you say your wife uses the camera more than you for picture stuff, or at least she did. So it's possible, what is it that she might like? In my case, my wife, maybe she's borrowed this one once, but I don't think it's too big. She doesn't like these big. Even this is a small for an SLR. It's still too big for her, so she's not interested. But I think for me, when I get the lens, so they will be getting the lens or lenses, I'll probably just pick one and go with that one. I'm going to kind of have like set a goal for myself to go on vacation, even if it's a day, and just take that one lens with some extra batteries and then try to make that one work. And that's kind of forces you to think outside of your box there, out of your comfort zone, and how I would normally frame something, which would be ultra wide or zoomed in. Well, now I don't have those options unless I use my feet and I zoom in or out. That's the manual zoom right there. So we'll see. The other thing about the Mitacon, there you go. I think that's it. Mitacon. It's manual focus. It's not autofocus. There's no electronics in the lens. So that would be fun as well. I'd really have to rely on the camera telling me. It does have a feature when I'm in autofocus now, or manual focus. If I scroll past the focusing point, it'll flash green or red, I can't remember, and then go back to its normal white box. So it kind of tells you, oh, you're focused. Oh, you're out of focus again. Which I need that. I like the old lenses where as you spin the focus dial, you have this kind of this ring that, and once it's finally aligned in the middle, now you're in focus. Ah, that was great. New lenses don't have that. Maybe the Minicon does. I haven't seen it. They haven't mentioned it in the reviews online, but I don't know. We'll see. Well, once I get it, I definitely will be a little show and tell. I might even record on a different camera just so I can, have the whole thing here. And then, we'll go from there. That'll be a nice thing. Maybe I'll start shooting with it. It is much closer to mine now. This lens is almost zoomed all the way out because I'm not too far away from it. Probably what's that, 4 or 5 feet away. So I might have to back it up a little bit. Definitely don't need you guys up here. Not that you definitely don't want to be up here. But anyways, that time will come. And if you do end up getting a new lens, by all means, Brent, let me know. I think you should grab one of those lenses, put it on, and force yourself to use it a few times. That way you'll get more familiarity, femilala. You'll get more used to it, and then you'll be able to, learn stuff. Learning stuff is all. Papa got to teach
teaching
stuff.
an old dog new tricks. Yep.
There you go. All right. Well, that's it then. I'm actually tired right now. All this rambling is exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a good place to stop. And then next week we can talk about whatever. If we do it next week. Next week is the Christmas week. The week after that is the New Year's week. So I don't know where I'll be. We might not be able to do this. We might not have time. We'll maybe try to sneak in 1 or 2. I'll let Brent know my availability. He'll let me know. But until next time, be safe, and you'll see us later. Ciao.
Yep. Take care.